Bum, 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 bum. It's the children of the Beast podcast.
Okay. And we are, fuck it, we'll do it live. Fuck it. Welcome back to the Children of the Beast, coming to you live from the lair of the Beast in Las Vegas, Nevada. We look a little bit red. We got some light. So if you're watching the YouTube, we're constantly upgrading, baby. Constantly upgrading. And we haven't even introduced ourselves. I'm Andrew, the host of this beautiful show. Next to me, as always, my Mormon brother, Mr. Carlos. How you doing, my
I actually have a Mormon question too. It came up yesterday in your conversation. Yeah.
Well, because as you live your life, you
and you're gonna like it. And you're gonna like it. Hello, everybody. I'm Carlos. It's good to see everyone again. You're gonna like this Mormon question.
Real quick, this is episode 11. Congrats to us.
Number 11.
Number 11. Okay. What was your thing? That was all.
No, you know, my mind wanted to go to a celebratory symbolism of 11. I could not come up with a single one. And then I tried to take it further in my mind. And I was like, well, we'll wait till episode 666. And I was like, damn, that's a long time. And then in the middle of that, you were like, yeah, we got nothing.
Because my brain wanted to think of like, well, what were you doing when you were 11? And then I realized, who cares? We were doing fucking 11-year-old shit.
And you don't want to know. And you don't want to know. It's a different time. It's a different time. Thankfully, record.
You made
time.
it.
Yeah.
You survived 11.
Facebooks or interwebs.
You survived the age of 11. By the skin of your teeth.
Some of the shit that I'd done did not need to have evidence kept of.
Well, then let's not talk about it.
Let's not. Well, the statute of limitations is expired on everything. I looked into it.
Okay. All right.
I'm past the statute, and we're a brand new day. So yeah,
like Pontius Pilate, we are washing our hands.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, see, now you're going dark. I don't want to go dark.
Why is it dark?
See, now you're bringing up all kinds of shit because, see, I gotta be honest. The last episode, I was very tired.
Yeah.
A little bit low energy.
Yeah.
I feel good. I got a lot of things that are percolating. Got a lot of things.
Sleepy
Carlos, not quite sleepy Joe.
Last week. Now you're high energy. High energy, Carlos.
So let's start at the top.
Mormonism.
You
as living
Mormonism.
Mormon life.
I have a question about Mormonism that came up yesterday in conversation.
Okay. And why do you think?
And it's a legitimate question. I don't want anybody to think, first of all, that I'm either mocking or making fun of or anything like that. This is a legitimate question.
Now,
but I think you'll enjoy it for two reasons. Why
are you asking me? Because you're the Mormon expert.
I'm asking for help.
Oh, okay.
Understanding shit, because I'm constantly trying to understand some things.
Of course.
And because it came up. So I saw first of all, I saw Mormons walking the neighborhood doing the thing in a Hawaiian shirt. What's up with that? I thought it was a white shirt with black pants and backpack and this two buddy system, right? Well, unless they were preaching a different gospel of like fucking,
Aloha.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of worship the pig myself, but I'm not Hawaiian. I don't know what they do.
Sacred pineapple.
Yeah. I feel like that's offensive. You're too pale to say things like that. I'm learning woke culture. I cannot be racist because I am a minority. But you, sir, you watch your P's and Q's. Now, the question is this. It's a political question in a way. So you know how you're a Mormon, right? And you got to go.
Well, I'm not a Mormon, but yes, you're a Mormon.
The proverbial Mormon who is a Mormon is supposed to go on some kind of a mission, right? For I think like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a caste system that is silent? Yes, but implied, or a maybe not a caste system, but a class.
Sure. I would have to assume so, right?
Right? Because who gets to go preach in Wyoming? Like, let's say you're from Arizona, and they're like, you're going to Idaho, and then there's another one from Arizona that's like, you're going to Japan. Well, that's a different experience.
So I do know when you're selecting your mission, you can, I believe, make the decision between international and stay within domestic. So I do believe those are two different distinctions. And then my understanding, now me being not Mormon, let me be very clear. I am not the Mormon on the show. You are. So let me educate you about your own faith and belief system. Let me pontificate.
So but seriously, what is it?
So my understanding is, right, the bishops, right, who is the elder leader of the region church area, right? Like each little specific region has their bishop that is, right, because they're all technically ministers.
Yeah, there's a name for that. What's it called? They're
elders.
No, yeah, but each
wards.
Yes,
yeah. It's wards. So I believe either the bishop does it, or maybe the bishop above the bishop, the grand bishop. I don't know.
Is there a pointy hat involved? I don't know. Because you know how the Catholics do it. It all goes towards the pointiest.
Well, but the cross on the hat. Oh, cross.
But yeah, but it kind of go like.
Yeah, but so that you're gonna do the cross, and then they do the shape around the cross.
Yeah, the thing, you know, like
The line.
Oh, we cracked the code, ladies and gentlemen. I knew it. I always knew there was a connection there, besides the obvious. Anyway, so
carry on. So
all right.
I believe it is. And right. And
all I'm saying is there's a lot of room for fuckery because somebody's mission cost $20,000 and somebody's mission cost $150,000.
Well, who pays for that?
Well, I'm assuming the church.
I don't know. I also would assume the church.
We should get an actual Mormon person in here. Like, we're not trying to mock you. We just want to know what's up.
Well, first of all,
and then they don't want to tell us. And they don't want to tell us. We're like, what you got to hide?
Well, let me interrupt you because, as I've said time and time again, you are the official Mormon person in this podcast.
Well, then you have a very low standard for officials.
Well,
very low standard.
Maybe I
talk about you, no nonsense Keith. What's his name? Very low stands for certain things. I heard you was drunk that one time. It's not my words. It's Dominic Cruz.
Oh, Keith Peterson.
Yeah, no nonsense Keith Peterson.
Oh, the referee, the UFC referee.
Low standards for officials. I'm not an athletic commissioner. I didn't hire the man, nor could I fire. I'm just saying, a champion of the world who could kick all of our asses collectively claimed he was drunk during work and not working properly. That's all. Anywho,
let's move on.
The other thing you just brought up. I said, I got you on the Mormon, right?
Okay.
And then you was talking about.
Are you trying to remember?
Yes.
I have no idea.
It'll come back around. So, how was your week, man?
It was good. It was long. Tuesday was a debate, which I entertained myself by watching it on my
live. You put it on the background.
I
put
it on the background.
Whatever.
I had class, so I was sitting in class, but I had it on, and it was very hard to pay attention to class because it was Trump just doing what he did in 2016, which is talking over everyone, being subscribing to the louder voice is the smarter voice strategy, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looked good in that debate. I think we as Americans all lost.
Well, I mean,
but I feel like that was pretty obvious before the debate, right?
It had no potential to be good.
It had no potential. It had no potential to, right? Nobody's watching. Like, I would love to be wrong. If you are an undecided voter and that debate changed your mind one way or the other, first of all, wow, you're a unicorn. Second of all, how? How? Like, I just, right? Like, you get the typical talking points of Trump came off, right? The Republican talking points of Trump came off as strong, and it was Chris Wallace was debating him, so Donald Trump had to moderate against or debate against Chris Wallace and Joe Biden. Then you have the Democrats talking point of, Donald Trump just interrupted, and Chris Wallace wasn't doing enough, and Joe Biden, when he finally had enough, looked so good, but Joe Biden didn't really say anything much of substance.
Well, I mean, neither one of them had anything to say.
Correct.
You know, and
well, and also, right, Trump fumbled the easiest question in the world of, will you denounce white supremacy? I mean, just fumbled it. And like, right, if you read the transcript, he says, sure, and then he gets interrupted and goes on to the next subject. So that's the, like, right.
Well, sometime this week after the debate, they finally maybe they issued an official announcement.
Let me interrupt you. Trump has denounced white supremacy multiple times.
Yeah, I know.
Multiple times. So not only that, Chris Wallace in 2016 asked Trump to denounce at a Republican debate. Chris Wallace, the same moderator, asked him to denounce white supremacy, and he did. I mean, a week ago he had an official declaration of the KKK as well as Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, right?
Right.
Weird to me that the KKK wasn't already designated as a domestic terrorist organization since it's been around a lot longer. But whatever, we'll move along. I think the spirit is right. The spirit is right.
I'll tell you one thing. I definitely think that most of us as Americans did not see the rise in popularity of those groups. However, that may not be. It may not be an actual rise in popularity. It may be just a rise in the notoriety of the existing bases. Because of the social media,
I do think it's a little bit of notoriety, but right, the FBI has also released report after report talking about how there's been a percentage of people who support white supremacists who have been identified as the FBI who are able to get into law enforcement, who are able to get into.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and I'm sure that's true across probably all professions, right? Because I would assume so.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that those type of people seem to be drawn to that type of job, right?
I mean, stupid people end up in every job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's all that is. But it is. Obviously, it's all abhorrent. What I find hilarious is that all of the groups that I can think of that are a one-dimensional vision for a single race or ethnicity, they have a completely misapplication of the sense of pride that they claim. Because then you should lynch one of your own who's illiterate. Because if you're such a proud American, shouldn't you know how to speak English? But yet I see, like there is how is it that people are not embarrassed of not knowing how to use there and there? Like that's supposed to be embarrassing. If it was an immigrant, though, they make fun of it. But when it isn't, suddenly it's not something your pride should get you to fucking proofread or have the wife proofread or have autocorrect or give a shit. But
it's so easy to take care of that type of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, then you can't possibly be that proud if you're a fat fuck with rosacea and the diabetes at the age of 30 because you're addicted to fucking Coca-Colas.
The cognitive dissonance is everywhere. It is everywhere.
It's to me that all that shit is as crazy as some of the stuff that I see in the other cultures, like Mexican people that move here and they only want to live amongst Mexican people. They don't want to learn to speak English. But why the fuck do you move here? It all the entire thing to me hinges on integration. Integration was not a bad word. Integration meets every culture that lives in that community meets in the middle. Yeah. Because as much as people want to say that white people are trying to get everybody to assimilate into their culture, that's not really true. White people are dying to listen and act black all over the place, right? And that culture celebrated by white people just as much as black people. And you have the same thing with food, You have white boys in California that have never had a taco-less day in their entire life.
Right, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's almost like it doesn't make any sense that people want it to be the way they define it, rather than seeing that it in fact exists across the board. And you can find representations of it existing across the board, of everybody borrowing from everybody else in some way, shape, or form. But that part of it is not celebrated. What's celebrated is that the parts that people don't want to assimilate, that's what's criticized. Like for instance, I'm Mexican and there's some Mexican food I don't eat. I don't get down with brains. I think that's disgusting, bro. I'm sorry. I know Cameron Haynes says that organs are really nutritious and Joe Rogan eats liver. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to eat it. Does that mean that I'm less Mexican than the Mexican that does eat the brains? And therefore that guy should be able to say that I don't have the right to act 30% Mexican? Because that's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Right. Like they're looking for those inflammatory like things rather than looking for celebrations of things. I took my son's golfing the other day, right? And it's all context to me. And I was talking to our other brother about this after we went golfing. We were playing tennis yesterday. So we went golfing down the street, golf course, Wild Horse. We've been going there for 20 years, right? And I did on a Saturday, on an afternoon, on Friday, because it tends not to be busy. And when it's hotter, less people come out. And so I figured, well, the closer to twilight, right? Yeah. Most people that play twilight golf, which is after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, for those of you who don't know, it's cheaper because you may not finish 18 rounds, right? 18 holes, excuse me. So figure we go out there. If the boys are good for 3 or 4 holes, I don't care. It's only there's only 3 of us golfing, which is my oldest son, our other brother, and myself. My wife and our brother's fiance were in a cart. Ricky had a cart and I had a cart, and the boys kind of bounced around between Ricky's cart and my cart. Now, a golf course, I don't think I'm saying anything controversial here, is largely a white place. Yeah. Okay. It's a sport from Ireland, so it should be, or Scotland rather, but whatever, just in case anybody gets fucking, So we're a mixed couple. My wife and I, I'm Mexican, she's Italian. My kids are half Hispanic. We're at a golf course. I've been golfing basically my whole life. You've been golfing your whole life. Our brother Ricky's been golfing his whole life. We don't get a shit look because we had the voice. We didn't get a shit look because we're fucking Mexican. You don't get, you know what I mean? But if you wanted to, if you showed up and you start playing your fucking Mexican music, maybe you don't know, but you show up at the golf course, right? And you start playing your shit. And you show up and you're not dressed the way golf courses traditionally get dressed. It's not against you. That's how it is. And maybe you didn't find out before the fact. Sure. And maybe you do run into a person who thumbs their nose at you or whatever. Cool. Immediately, you can make a fucking narrative out of that because the ingredients are there. Golf course, Mexican family with kids. You know what I mean? Like you start inflating this shit and in a heartbeat, you have one of those fucking clickbait stories just like that. And I think that happens across the board in a ton of shit where people are out there kind of like not seeing that the reality is that what I saw was my family welcomed into a place where other men have been taking their kids traditionally for years. I saw my son get cheered on by every single person that saw him swing the golf club for the first time. Yeah, we were not in the way of anybody. Nobody was in the way of us. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, and nowadays with the internet, you shouldn't get to any place, even if it's your first time, and have no idea of what the fucking lay of the land is and what the protocol is and all that. Unless you're expecting, again, and that's integration to me. I'm going to go to the unknown. I don't know what the customs of the unknown are. This is the information I can find beforehand because I'm choosing to go into this unknown. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And like with travel, when you travel internationally, right? That's what, in theory, you should be doing when you're in other countries. You should be doing
it between people.
Yeah.
Read each other.
Yeah.
So this is cool with this person. Yeah. This is not cool with this person. You know? But it's gotten so hypersensitive and everybody expects their hypersensitivity to be perceived immediately. Or you could be in a real heap. you know, and so I think that there's a lacking there of people acknowledging that there's a lot more of the good part than the bad part. But it gets so fucking radicalized quickly, you know? That it's just because here's another thing now, because this is the parallel that I thought about, right? And this is Donald Trump has been married at least 3 times that I know of, right?
Isn't Melania 4?
So there's Ivanka. There's Ivanka.
Ivana. Ivanka's the daughter.
Oh, so Ivana, Melania, and I think there was somebody before Ivana. But anyway. He's been married by different women, right? He has kids with all of them. Yeah. He lives in New York. They live wherever. You couldn't possibly be seeing your kids every single day. Now, his son, as soon as he became the president, his son left his wife for the for the girl from Fox News. Now, the only difference, right, is money and color. If he's poor and black, he's a deadbeat.
Whom? Wait, I'm confused.
Trump.
You've lost me.
A guy that's fathering kids by different women and dumping the old one for the new one. If he doesn't have money and he's from a minority, that's a deadbeat. But as long as he has money, then that doesn't matter. McCain, same thing. Comes back from the war, a war hero. His wife that he left here while he was in the war had a car accident. Face got disfigured. Dumped her for Cindy McCain, who was a beauty queen. We don't talk about that though. Now, if that guy's black, what do we say? Why does the fucking
well, and like, right, it makes sense why it's radicalized though, right? Like, I mean, like, news isn't the agenda of the news isn't to inform you, it's to sell.
Not anymore.
To make yeah. There's this book called "Amusing Ourselves to Death" by Neil Postman, and maybe I mentioned this, I'm not sure. But it's very similar along the lines of like Brave New World in 1984, like almost like a utopian type world or like a dystopian type world, however you want to look at it, right? Where because there is so much media and so much information, there is like, right, a overabundance that as opposed to just being straight news is able to grab your attention, they have to specifically market to you and specifically get your attention. And it becomes radicalized and that just intensifies. And I mean, right, that's easily what you can make that analogy to how we're living right now with the news and the way the news works and is ran.
You can, but that assumes that the lowest common denominator of intelligent civilian is the norm. And that's what I don't like about it, is that as much as you're right, there's a narrative to every single source. They have their own agenda, right? But it's up to you to have a balanced feed. Because guess what? The books that we've been reading for 500, 600, 1,000 years, they have a narrative too and an agenda. Books have an agenda too, but we were kind of, they got normalized, right? So that's what do? You consume multiple different sources.
I do think I agree with you, right? Because like you do have to have the ability to discern through things. You absolutely do have to have the thing. But I think I almost agree with the notion that you do almost kind of have to assume kind of a very low standard for the average person.
Well, yeah, but then the argument that it's a problem, I don't feel is as arguable, because people have to have a problem with it before it's a problem. If it works for the majority of them because they are complacent in many things, unless it's to their convenience or to their specific outrage, then fuck them. Be in or be out. But you just want to be in when it's your specific thing,
that would assume a higher intellect of what we're seeing.
I know, but that's why I don't have a problem with the way things currently work. Because I think that you can find a balanced perspective on a subject matter by reading the super radicalized extremes, if you will. Right? Yeah. But you go, okay, I'm going to need north, south, east, and west, and I'm going to fucking meet it in the middle of my thingy, right? And I think that most people that we have conversations with do the same thing. Those who don't, then fuck you. Listen,
I just think those that don't are a lot more people for various reasons.
Yes, but
lack of desire, lack of.
But
time,
at that point,
at
that point, I worry more about wealthy people making educated decisions than I do about people that don't fucking matter because they can't make anything happen for their lives. They can't affect you. They can't affect change. They can't even fucking stop smoking cigarettes. They can't even fucking stop drinking sugar, and they're chopping fingers one at a time. So I mean, if I don't care about anybody who doesn't give a fuck about themselves, I don't have enough time or care in my life to get far back down, especially for somebody who doesn't give a shit about themselves, doesn't want to help themselves, doesn't like that. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no.
You know,
like
so that's
hours in a day for sure.
Yeah, and natural selection. Like I still consider myself an animal. Like I consider every human being an animal. Your number one job is to survive. If you're not giving a shit, then news is no one else is going to. You know? And if you're fostering that type of mentality in yourself, I mean, look, McVeigh asked to get put to death right away. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even want to fight it. Like that was his crowning moment, right. was that horrible fucking thing he did. Over reading 3 books, by the way, too. You know, like he couldn't get a balanced respect of that boy. You know? But the reality is that you never hear. I mean, my perspective of McVeigh is he failed in Ranger School because he was too scrawny. He should have fucking lifted some goddamn weights and put on some fucking balls like David Goggins would, and he probably would have made it on the 7th time. You know what I mean? Like, but instead at that point, well, now there's always a fucking.
Well, here, let's move on because the debate wasn't even the most exciting thing that happened in this week. I feel like, right? I mean, exciting is I feel like the right word because this happened late Friday evening here in Las Vegas.
Well, evidently it didn't. Evidently he knew he was sick.
Well, let's wait. Let's get into it. Right?
As far as I'm concerned, he debated sick.
It does seem to be that way. So, right, Donald Trump, if you haven't heard the news, obviously I'm sure you have, but Donald Trump has been diagnosed with, as he now calls it, COVID-19, or whatever you want to call it, quote, or whatever you want to call it.
The COVID? We're going to beat this virus, the COVID?
It's got him and Melania.
Mm-hmm. And a bunch of people in his fucking cabinet. Kellyanne Conway's sick.
26 people.
Kellyanne Conway's sick. The dummy that does the PR, Hannah, I think is her name.
Hope Hicks hasn't. No, Kaylee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but she's not the one who does the press. The
press moron
is Kaylee something.
And
top senators
and have his asshole posse walked into the debate with a mask and then yanked it right off because that's how they're gonna take a stance. And then here we go. Science said, "Hold my beer."
Science said, "Here, hold this Corona."
And
It's karma to the most visible level, right?
I, for one, have a different perspective on this.
Okay, hit me.
I think that he at last is leading by example.
Oh yeah, for sure, right?
And I like it because you know what? One thing I want from his followers, follow him. Anyone who's a follower of his, for any reason outside of a fiscal benefit, you should follow everything he says. Do what he does. Eat like he does. Don't exercise. Do all the same things, please. Please, he's your hero. Go follow him. Be like Trump. If you love him so much, be like him. Go out there. Show your passion. Show your loyalty. Have a Chinese person and an orange person spit in your mouth because you don't have fears. That's what I want. I like it. Walk your walk. Good for you. I say, listen.
So really the question is what happens after.
I mean,
Because it appears, right, from my perspective right now, it's a 50-50 if he's going to make it. It's like Sunday.
The thing about it is that this is all his choice. The man is a smart individual that he's been making his own decisions for a long time. So I celebrate his freedom.
So what you're saying
and the consequences of his freedom. I celebrate him.
I wish him well.
Correct. That's exactly how I feel.
I wish him.
And it has nothing to do with political affiliation or whether I like a person or not. That's what I want for everyone. There are things that happen to people who are victims. This isn't it. So, being that this isn't it, I celebrate your choice. Go for it. Just like when a junkie does this thing. Hey, man, as long as you're not out there sticking other people with a needle, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. That's all I can say is I celebrate freedom.
It's interesting because I feel like at this point there's these two narratives. Right? Trump is faking it or Trump is about to die.
The narrative of faking it I find very, very short-sighted because there isn't a single person who doesn't like him who has sympathy for him right now. So he's like, sympathy vote, that ship sailed on the first election. Yeah. He's got all the sympathy he's going to get from his sympathizers. He's not turning people.
Yeah. I much prefer the conspiracy theory that this was some sort of person who willingly infected him.
No, I dispute those. No, I mean, comparatively. Okay. I'm willing. Here's what I'm willing to do.
That was way more likely than him lying about it.
But if that is in fact what happened, right? And that was the narrative coming from the administration, I would say, oh, so you guys are incompetent. So what you're saying is you're incompetent because it's like there's two things: asshole or incompetent. My vote is for asshole because I haven't seen him wear a mask or regard the disease for how it should be regarded from the beginning. I think most people agree with me. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. So that's just my perspective from that particular individual in the handling of this. Definitely. Right? So my whole thing is your two options. Be proud. Are you an asshole or an imbecile?
And it seems like he's going to be proud.
Right? He'd be proud to be an asshole or an imbecile. Yeah. He'd convince himself that it's a thing of pride. But and followers, listen, again, unless you're making millions of dollars from following him, you're a moron. Same with Biden. Biden and his whole family situation is garbage.
What do you mean? His son died in the war.
Yeah, and then his other son banged the dead son's wife and got her pregnant. And his sons got fucking money from Russian conglomerates for jobs that they were never qualified for, nor did they serve a single day of.
I heard he was a crackhead. I don't know if that's true.
And by the way, I'm not just shitting on Trump. I'm shitting on all of them. If you think Kamala Harris is a nice person, know this. Kamala Harris is the cop's cop.
Kamala?
You are voting for a cop. If you are a Black Lives Matter person and going to vote for Biden, Kamala's a cop.
Vote blue, no matter
She's a fucking cop. She put all of the minorities in jail. She fucking used junk science. She refused to help vacate convictions that she knew there was contradicting evidence for.
Well, and you know what's actually a great point?
Fuck her.
I don't know how this works, right? Trump does pass, the ballots have already been made. I don't know what happens.
Well, I would have to assume that until they figure out Pence is the president, right?
Oh, yeah, Pence would absolutely become
right,
president. And then
they'll probably have to have a late election of some sort.
Well, I would just assume Pence would rise to the top of the ticket, and then he would bring in somebody as vice president.
I guess that's what should happen.
That seems to make the most logical sense.
I would imagine it's up to the party, though.
Yeah, but by electing Pence as vice president, I feel like by default you're saying if something happens to this guy, this is our guy.
Well, yeah, but that shouldn't affect the timeline of the goddamn elections.
But it will, because ballots have already been printed and some have already been sent out. That's why it gets interesting. I mean, people are already voting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was a hell of a week, though. You know, we'll see.
His doctors can't get their story straight.
Hey. He also gets a chance to lead by example. He should take all of the latest treatments that he touts so much and tell us from a first-hand experience, as a leader should. What's up with the vaccine? You take it already? Because I know there's Americans already participating on the trials.
They've at least been listing some of the things he's taken, right? They didn't originally list that he received supplementally oxygen, and that came out that he actually received oxygen in the White House. So, they're really
surprised because he took the hydrochloroquine as a precaution. You would have figured. It's a fantastic drug, especially if used before. What's going on?
It is crazy that he was feeling sick several days prior and he was still doing events.
That's not crazy at all. It's a narcissist. It doesn't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah, sure. In that regard, it's not crazy, but it's just, all right. If you're, I saw this comparison on the lines. If you have HIV and you have sex with someone and you don't let them know, that's you can go to jail in certain states.
Yep.
So
that's right.
Also, Mitch McConnell getting tested, not disclosing the results of the test, and saying we're going to take a 2-week recess of the Senate. Sir, I have skeptical hippo eyes.
And again, this needs to be taken into account by their support.
But it won't.
Because that's the worst part about it. For instance, ever since the diagnosis came up, quiet on social media. Quiet. You pussies have nothing to say. You pussies have nothing to say in the face of adversity, right? So I saw one that said that now Rona got him by the pussy.
That's good.
That's just hilarious. Yes, I did.
The 4-minute video.
He looked like shit. Also, they should have touched him up because he was not orange enough.
Well, exactly. That's the point I was just about to make. Every time you've ever seen him prior, he does have makeup on and he is under significantly better lighting. So yes, he does look worse comparatively, but also he doesn't have makeup on. He doesn't have that good lighting on, which he usually does when you do see him. So I do think that makes a slight difference. I don't know if that's enough to account for that he looks visibly ill, but he does look worse than usual. That's very clear to see.
Here's my thing. I care about any politician as much as they care about anybody they haven't done anything for.
Sure.
So that's it.
And in that 4-minute video, I saw this on the lines. If you go to 1 minute 4 seconds, 1 minute 5 seconds, you can absolutely see that they edited a cough out. And there's a frame of him going like you can see him cough in action, but they edited the cough out.
Yeah.
Which of course they're going to. Of course, they have to. That's literally their job to make the president look stronger.
But again, this is what's so funny about the people that support him. When you're proud, a proud man wouldn't need to edit that. A proud man who's confident of himself doesn't need to paint himself orange. A proud man who's confident of himself doesn't need to convince you his hair's real. That's not pride, people.
Yeah, but all those politicians have editing teams to make them look good when they're making gaffes like that. You don't think
my commentary and criticism is not so much for him because that's part of the job, as it is for anyone who supports him. Listen, I've been talking about this. I'm just gonna and this is. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about this, really. But it's the same thing with a lot of women right now. They want a real-ass motherfucker with a real-ass job and real-ass responsibilities. But they have fake eyelashes, fake nails, they're overweight, and they edit their pictures on Instagram in a post where they tell you they don't give a shit about the body shape. Bitch, if you don't care about the shape of your body, you just put the picture up.
You know what else they got? That WAP.
Yeah, but you know who else has WAP? Girls that actually stay fit. and don't need to fucking grandstand about bullshit they're actually secure about. So that's just...
That song is incredible. That song is hilarious. It's a great song.
I mean, that's that music always has been. I mean, I
yeah.
Whatever. I mean, but so I saw there's a documentary on Netflix. I'm just honestly, I like that. I think the day of reckoning is coming in terms of people are going to get smacked in the face by the real shit that they follow and that they claim.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Is the day, like I saw a thing not too long ago on social media too, where I told you about the anti-vaxxers. I think we talked last week about it on the podcast, right? Where the nurse was like, well, your son left with a sticker. So that's to me, that's what I think of the woke culture, that they're full of shit. They're virtue signaling as hard as they can with their fucking keyboards and with their phones and all that shit. And in reality, you're not fucking proud. Listen, proud means like, imagine this. Imagine a world, right, where men paint a narrative where they stop body shaming us and stop making us feel, but we all have filters that make us look like The Rock and Brad Pitt in Fight Club. And we use them. And no one calls us out on it. That's what the women are doing. That's what they're doing. And the whole time they're raising empowered little girls. Really? You're outraged about this, you liar? And where's the husband? Can't say shit, because then they won't fuck you. Full of pussies. And guess who pussies vote for? Other pussies. Because you can't feel alone. You got to have some leadership. There's nothing more hilarious than hearing Trump referred to as an alpha male. He's never been fucking challenged. He's not alpha. He's a fucking actor in the opera of politics. And yet, an alpha male, Chuck Liddell's an alpha male. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's hilarious. I'm done with my rant.
Thank God.
Yoga pants. You're not fooling anybody. I'm done.
You already said that.
I say it every time. I say it every day. I say it in the shower. I say it to the ladies as you're driving on the street.
That's obsessive. Let go.
Nah.
Let go.
I am obsessive. That is true.
Let go.
That is true.
Phil was obsessed about something positive.
I'm obsessive about tons of positive things, my friend. A shit ton. I'm an equal opportunity obsessive, as a matter of fact. Okay. If there's one thing you know about me, it's that I'm an equally opportunity obsessive. But yeah, that's insane, man. I mean, I want this to be over. I don't care who wins at this point.
I mean, it's not even going to be over by November. This is not going to end until January inauguration.
Damn.
I mean,
what comes first? The conclusion to the nonsense with the election, or something to do with Rona?
Probably the election. Probably the election. I mean, I think there might be claims that stuff about the Rona is getting taken care of by the election and like around that time. But I think the effects of COVID are going to be around for at least another year. Fallout.
See, I don't know. Like I follow it mostly here locally for obvious reasons. Yeah. But at least for the last 4 weeks now, we're at 75,000 cases. We're at 1,500 deaths. It's not fucking moving. Right. You know, I do hear on some of my customers where I'm at some of the casinos, I do hear consistently people from the staff that show up and they're sent to get tested, and people do get sick at the casinos they have. But really outside of that,
well, I just think once
I don't see much.
Right, I just don't think that as restrictions loosen up, we are going to see more cases. I mean, I do think that's going to happen. Yeah. Especially with travel in and out of Las Vegas. I mean, travel in and out any.
Well, it also may be that there's a further immune predisposition that we don't know about yet, and maybe that already peaked with that population.
And it does almost seem there to be something with
like some people just have the bad luck of circumstances or whatever. You know,
neither of us are smart enough to be talking on this.
Of course not. I've read a half a book in my entire life, and it's an audiobook.
So you didn't even read it; you listened to it.
I did, yeah.
It's not reading.
No.
I count it though. I like audiobooks.
You know, I can't really get with audiobooks very much. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't tried.
They're good.
I haven't tried. I like a book. Like the whole thing of holding
an
a book.
audiobook on like the treadmill.
I gotta do it. I am running out of documentaries. I mean, it's fucking undeniable. I'm waking up in the morning. I'm like, God damn, but also, once you have like your own TV for workouts and you're not at a gym or something, it's hard to go back to Word. Because I also don't listen to podcasts while I work out anymore. I strictly watch TV or listen to TV. Like if I'm working out in here, because I'm not watching the screen, I put something on that I like to listen to. Sure. So I'm like, like little parts and shit. And get like replays or whatever, Or reality TV. Because reality TV, like it's not like they're acting. And even if it's bad acting, I just need to hear what's going on, You can
hear them slapping each other and like tossing tables.
Exactly. And I can always rewind it if it's a part that I like 90 Day Fiance. There's several parts that I've rewound many times. I'm like, it's tremendous. It's tremendous. But
so I was thinking about this. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
So I was thinking for next week, I feel like we should do something a little bit different.
What you want to do?
I feel like we should pick a movie and just watch that shit and provide a commentary track to anyone who wants to listen to this movie.
You want to do a movie companion?
Yeah. Why not? We're the ones telling us what to do here.
I think that's cool, but I think that maybe we need to wait till we have more listeners so that we can have like at least more than us two watching the movie.
No. Because it's like a little taste. And right, the first one's going to be bad regardless.
Is it though?
Probably.
What movie? Okay, we got to table this discussion because I like the concept, but I feel
Why
like
don't we have this discussion right now? What if we table
I think that should be like an extra episode. Like we do one a month of that.
Dog, time though.
Time
though.
Time. Well, yeah, but here's the thing: is that this is not a very comfortable place to sit down and watch a movie. We have to like set it up like in a couch or something.
Yeah, but sir, we can't do it out there. There's too much outside noise.
I know. That's why we got to come up with a way to do it.
You know what we should do before? Because did you see that Regal's getting closed down?
No.
Cinemark, their parent company, is shutting down all their theaters in the US and UK.
What?
So while we still can, me and you need to rent a theater and watch it in a theater.
We could do that. That'd be hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Are there movies open here in Vegas?
I have no idea. Why would I want to go to a movie theater right
fuck
now?
that. Yeah. Especially, you know who goes to a fucking movie a lot?
Perverts.
The people that are most susceptible to getting the Rona. The motherfuckers
that sitting inside for a long time.
All they want to do is move from their couch to a different location to consume the same amount of sugars. And
also, why are you going to the movies when there's everything on the internet?
Yeah. Oh shit! I know what we're gonna do.
Well, let's hear it.
I got it down.
Spit it out.
We're gonna do it in the backyard.
On the projector?
Over the pool.
It'll only work if it's a nice day where there's not a lot of outside noise interference.
I know. It's been nice lately.
And with the boys, I feel like they're going to want to get on this and they want to be swimming. It's going to be a lot of noise.
I got to think about this.
Because what goes? Hold on, let me hit you with this. Some Papa Sun chairs.
Well, I was thinking in the garage, we could project it against the garage door too.
There we go. Yeah. We just got to figure out like a seating situation.
Yeah. Let's think about that. Because, it's the seating and the
comfort.
But I like the idea.
Because, we could just record it directly onto the interface and we don't have to hook it up here.
Oh, and yeah.
So we don't need
sound.
to put
That's right.
We don't even need to do
exactly, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do that. That sounds like a good idea. You just got to think about what movie and when to do it.
There's so many options, I feel like. There's so many options.
Well, there's a lot of options, but we got to have the right one for the first one.
You know what it should be? Let me hit you with this. I already got it, dude. It'll be timely. It'll be perfect. Borat 2.
Oh, that's from... No, let's do Borat 1 then. And then lead up to Borat 2.
My crumb is frosted.
Yeah, you frosted. Oh, yeah, you in. Nah, you're on that side. You got frosted. I frost, you frost, we all frost.
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. But it's so funny. You can't help it. See, once you get the frost.
Listen, you're doing it. Your wife's doing it. I'm doing it. Stylebender's doing it. Everybody's frosting.
Everybody's frosting. But if you gotta say it Russian though.
I'm not gonna say
frost.
I'm not gonna accent.
It's a FJOST.
Frost.
I
can't do that.
The frost.
I can't. My mouth doesn't work. The frost doesn't come out that way for me.
Your frost, it comes up differently. Oh shit!
Comes out like ice.
Oh, man. So let's keep it rolling.
Okay.
You are now on the 90 Day Fiance.
No, I'm just married at first sight.
Married at first sight.
Yeah, I finished season 9, finished season 10, which was season 9 was North Carolina. Season 10 was Washington D.C., where they had the 5 couples.
Yeah.
Now we're on season 8.
Nice.
Which no longer has Dr. Vivian, who I do not like, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Nice.
It's very good.
Because it's funny, you get into that at the same time as Ricky finally got on 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, he was telling me.
Oh my God, dude, that fucking show.
He refuses to listen to an episode of us talking about unless he is on the show. He's told me. Like we have to figure out a call-in situation for this man.
We were playing tennis yesterday, laughing like idiots, because now he knows a lot about it.
That's incredible.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny, dude. I did start watching Love After Lockup.
Oh, well, he's been on that show for so long.
I didn't know about. It's good, dude. Oh my goodness, it's good. Nobody in those shows cares about the election.
Well, those shows are typically
Not a single one of those people.
Just in general in life.
Has read a book, I don't think, ever. A pamphlet? Maybe. Because they got to get STD tests. But I don't think they read a book. Booklet? Maybe. You know?
Booklet.
Like the one time a romance novella.
A nice 25-pager.
Maybe, dude.
A chapter book.
And we're talking large print and illustrations. They'll get all fancy with all words on white sheet of paper. It's tremendous, man. But yeah, it was funny. And then last night or yesterday afternoon, I watched The Waterboy with the boys. Hilarious. My son, film. Dude, first of all, there's still nothing funnier than the sound Adam Sandler makes before he tackles somebody. Because
his squeal, his pig squeal.
And then my son was laughing when he grabbed the ball and he goes like 62. And he takes the ball, makes the guy fumble it, grabs the ball, gives it to 62 to drop kick it. I love my mama very much. Now you know that.
I walked in today, and one of the first things he started telling me about was Waterboy and Captain Insano.
Oh yeah. He thought that was so funny when he poked the eye, and he was like, "What'd you do?" He poked me in the eye. And I was like, he lost his shit.
That's a great scene.
He fucking lost it. It was so funny. But yeah, so that was.
Which I won trivia at the local.
Again?
Yeah, I'm back-to-back champs.
No shit.
Back-to-back champs.
That's hilarious. What was the last question?
I don't remember.
No. But you just
yeah, I have no idea.
What's the cast of characters at that bar, I wonder?
So they've been repainting inside. So there's this dude who is painting this Star Trek cube on the wall. It's actually pretty dope. It looks pretty sick. But he's been there for 3 weeks, slowly hand painting little stars and whatnot.
Have you ever seen the show Shameless?
Never.
Oh, good show. But that's how I imagine your bar.
Interesting.
There's some regulars in the bar.
So when I go, I'm gonna go over after to go watch football. And the last 2 weeks for football, it's the same. It's the same people. And it's I walked in last Sunday, and in fact, it was. So
when they shut that one down, they didn't fuck over the people the a multitude of people. They fucked over 8 people.
It's the same people.
They fucked over 8 people.
When I go
personally.
today, I expect to see the same 6 people that I saw last week on Sunday in the afternoon, and it was great because some of them I hadn't seen since.
So
before Corona.
The business is not selling the brewery at the brewery; it's selling the beer.
What is your question? Yeah,
they
business. Don't do brewery tours or anything. Yeah, so yeah, they're just
So they don't give a shit if there's no people there. They're selling beer to distribution.
So yes and no, they are still distributing, but with bars being closed down, they've done very limited glass releases where they bottled by hand. They just got a big 32-ounce canning machine for crowlers and whatnot. So while yes, they do make money in distribution, they're
surviving. Being
open is important to them just because they are making money on their tasting room tap room.
Gotcha.
Great place.
Who's playing tonight?
I don't know who's playing Sunday. There's been a whole bunch of weird shit with Corona testing.
People testing positive?
The team that the Vikings played last week tried to infect the Vikings, and that's why they beat us, because they got down with the Rona. Hey, people. Oh, yeah. Just like Donald Trump was trying to get Biden, the Titans was trying to get the Vikings. But we're too strong. I mean, not strong enough to win, but too strong for the Rona. And we're playing right now, and when I last looked, we were up, but we're probably losing.
Let's see. And hockey's over.
Hockey's over. Tampa Bay Lightning won the cup.
Knights. How far back did the Golden Knights finish?
Third. Well, like in that third, fourth.
Really?
Yeah. We lost in conference finals. So, I mean, we've made it to conference finals, which is right before the Stanley Cup, all 3 years of our existence.
Wow.
We just announced we as in I'm part of the team. I was a part of this announcement, as you know. We just announced the gold third jersey. So we now have a third jersey. That's like the gold that was on the arm of like the gray and white ones. That's like the entire jersey now. It's very gaudy. It's very gold. It's a little bit ugly, but I love it. It's very Vegas. I love it. It's great.
So how does it work with the Silver Knights? So you get pulled up?
So I know they are our affiliate team, obviously, because their name is Silver Knights. And I do believe there is some transfer between the leagues, but I don't know how it works. I don't know hockey well enough.
Because, they're putting the arena over there by GVR. They
the
demolished the goddamn amphitheater, man. It's
Did you
gone.
not know about this?
I think I heard about it, but I hadn't. They're demolishing shit so fast nowadays. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like...
It's kind of a bummer. I like the pavilion.
I love that place, man. I mean, I get it. They're probably going to make a ton more money with this. More. Now, do you think that's going to be an ice skating arena open to the public too, like the other one?
I would assume so, right?
Because the only reason I've never got into ice skating...
It's far. It's cool.
Yes, it's always far shit. It was always like the Santa Fe or the whatever. And then you get there and they have the shitty skates. I was like, man, I'm not going to invest in skates and shit to go all the way fucking over there. So I find it's cold. But I am good. I'm pretty good ice skater.
Falling on ice hurts.
Falling on ice hurts very much.
It's hard.
Yes.
Ugh.
That's why have you ever seen a pair of hockey pants?
No, but I assume they're thick.
They're super padded.
Yeah, that makes
sense. They're padded. Yeah,
that makes sense. Thick boys.
The thick boys. Yeah. It's the hips and the elbows that you need padding on.
Sure. Yeah. Where you're falling on where it's bony and pointy.
Yeah. But it's fun though. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it.
I have fun ice skating. I'm not very good, but I won't. It's a challenge to myself every time to not fall, and I haven't fallen the last couple times, so I feel like I haven't. That's where I am with my level of ice skating, for reference.
Yeah, no, I can do it as long as it's a good skate. I mean, if I, it's like everything else, but yeah, no, I think it's cool. It'll be cool. You know?
It'll be fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'll have fun going to the games. I definitely want Henderson Silver Knight merch. I think it's cool since I live in Henderson. I have like a sports team that's.
I like the location. I think it's cool. It's by GVR, by Whole Foods, and so that should be cool.
It's gonna be busy game days and whatnot.
I don't give a shit. I'm never out at night.
Yeah. I don't even know when those type of games are, but those games will be significantly cheaper to go to, and it'll be a fun time to go to those games. I'm positive of. So it'll be fun.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just want shit to start happening because I'm all about people not getting sick and not being exposed, but at the same time, they're not getting sick and they're not getting exposed. And, I do want anybody who's unhealthy to be afraid. Give a fuck. It costs us all money. Your quality of life diminishes. And when your quality of life diminishes and you interact with other people, you're affecting the community, man. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's shit that people can do something about, and they're choosing not to. And fuck them.
For the most part.
I like the fact that some of the casinos are looking to reopen smoke-free. I think that's great.
That is great. You know what? That's actually a great segue. At my school, last year I was trying to bring this initiative to formally establish a smoke-free policy at my college. We currently have signs and postaging to no smoke, students during distance. And on our website, you can find a link to a smoking policy. When you click on it, it's a 404, an arrow 404. For those of you that don't know what an arrow 404 is, that means that website
no longer
exists.
Yeah.
It no longer exists. So I'm sure we have some sort of thing, but I can't find it anywhere. And
neither can anybody else.
Exactly. And the signs that are posted, nothing's consistent. Some say 30 feet, some say 50 feet, some say 100 feet. So it's all over the place. And last year, the year ended with a turnover, with going pandemic. As you could imagine, stuff like that kind of fell to the wayside. But I had a very productive meeting with some people on campus, and it seems very likely that this is going to be a thing that happens this year. So I'm excited about it.
Cool. So, yeah. Good, man. Good.
It's cool.
And that's the thing is, like, at the end of the day, I think that one thing that can't believe I'm going to say this. One thing that I think I side more with a Republican type, a modern Republican type of ideology, is in personal accountability. You know, I do think that the left has a tendency to victimize people that put themselves in that position in the first place. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because it's fine as long as it doesn't affect anybody else, you know, which can be viewed as like cold. But the thing about it is that everybody wants compassion after they fucked up, but nobody asks them how many times they fucked up. And when your fuck ups are affecting other people, then maybe you don't get as much compassion. But the people that are defending a lot of the fuck ups are not worried about the process of how they got there. They're just worried about the fact that they're fucked up right now. I want to worry about the fact that they're fucked up right now, but I want to know how you got there, because otherwise, what's the help for?
Yeah, right. And sometimes the fuck ups are results of environmental pressures and situations.
But I mean, if we have a shortage of jobs, right? And as a Democrat, you'd like larger government anyway. Why not create some branches of the government that address that? You like to spend the fucking money anyhow.
Well, and like, right, isn't that what, in theory, what defunding the police is trying to do? Is trying to divert some of that money to different organizations so that they can specifically target different areas of issues where police now are kind of all encompassing.
Yeah. I guess there's that. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's one of the steps, or a step.
I mean, that's a step
towards,
for sure. That's a step. I don't know if it's the right step. I don't know if it's an effective.
No,
step,
it's a step.
But it's
I mean,
step
the only wrong step is the one that you dismiss because of how because you fucking imagine the results. You know, like people got to be willing to be wrong. Because if you're never willing to be wrong, you're never going to take any steps because you don't want to be wrong. And sometimes you got to fuck up. And sometimes in the process of fucking up is when you find the right step too.
Definitely.
You know, like just like sometimes the idea from the person you hate is a good idea. Like sometimes in the process of, sometimes in the process of fucking up, you're like, oh shit, well that wasn't it. But it turns out, you know what I mean? Like that's a thing. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm hopeful just because I'm not seeing people so scared and I'm not seeing people so like panicked and everything.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wonder though if we're kind of in like a as we come back into the election, as we get closer into the election. I hope
so, but I also think that the wokeness and what I consider to be the complete pussiness is peaked. I think it's swinging back because a lot of the kids that were 14 and 13 when it started are now 18 and getting ready to go to college, and they got some shit crammed down their throat that was not even fucking that important and that relevant, you know. So I think a lot of that is going to start. Maybe
my fear is that, right, depending on the election results, that we'd start dipping back down towards a weird place of uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to have to balance off.
Yeah,
you know, we were shocked the day after Trump won. Everybody was. I gather. I imagine even people that voted for him were shocked.
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure. Yeah.
So I think that whatever happens is, A, if he wins again, the shock's not going to be the same as the first time. So whatever. And B, if he doesn't win, then
and like we're not even mentioning the vast amount of litigation that's going to happen regardless of once results. Like we're not going to know who wins on election day.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not. Multiple states now have allowed it so that if you have postmarked your mail by election day, you can get it in by a certain, varying on state to state. It can be like 4 days after the election, 6 days after the election, 7 days after the election, which like, it makes sense to have more time to count the votes, but also that's why we have early voting. We already have an early voting period. And I realize it's not standardized.
But see, that's one of the things that
it's all fuckery.
But see, that's one of the things that, for instance, I don't side with a manipulation of the ability to vote. Okay?
Sure.
Which is what the right is accused of doing.
Totally.
Often.
Totally.
But I denounce the enabling and the prodding of losers to go vote, just to go do it. If you don't have enough wherewithal to fucking give a shit, you shouldn't be convinced by people for their fucking gain. That bothers me.
That's just how elections are won, though. I understand that bothers you, but that's just how
it's a tactic that I feel is used more by the Democrats than the Republicans.
I mean, yeah, I think so, right? Like, that's at least here in Vegas, right? The reason why Nevada is typically leans blue is because now Clark County, right? It's there's a local reporter here by the name of John Ralston, what he calls the Clark County firewall wall, because we have such a large amount of Democrats in Clark County, there is some sway over the rest of the state here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. I'm sure there are multiple states that have various examples of that. So
yeah.
it's just the way the game is played.
I just see like, I mean, if we're talking about, I mean, it's kind of like what I've always said about people and the internet and all that, where people go, well, you're not going to be able to do service, or you're not going to be able to do tech work anymore because all the information is online. A lot of information was always available. People never walked their asses to the library to read the book.
Discernment.
Yeah,
Discernment.
even
Application.
now, they'll find porn, but they won't find a fucking video on doing their own oil change. You know, they'll wait for somebody to change the tire. You know, like, so it's just that part of it. If you're motivated to do it, you're gonna do it. You know, like that's it. You can figure it out. You know how to do it. Like. And the ones that are not, then fucking let them do what they were doing before.
Yeah, no, in that way, like you almost, for yourself, for your family, you almost, I feel like have to be a little bit selfish in that regard. And I don't think that's
I mean,
not selfish, but.
The thing about it is I don't see it as I celebrate anybody doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be around people that don't want to do anything. That's not my problem.
Yeah. No.
That's not my problem. You know, you can't make somebody give a shit if they don't give a shit. You know, I mean, I have
multiple relationships will try to prove you otherwise.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have some family members that I care dearly about that, you know, there's a pie that I see as like a person's like a pie chart, right? Yeah. So what part of your personality is each part? Sure. What part of you is a son? Yeah. What part of you is a friend? What part of you is a student or a professional? What part of you is anything, right? If you're only taking care of one piece of that pie chart, I can't be around. It doesn't mean you have to have it down. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, you know? But there's multiple things. You're not just one thing. Unless you're a fucking cancer doctor, you're not just one fucking thing. You know, you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a fucking whatever it is. You know, and some people get like in my generation, you know, like fucking some people thought all they had to do is be a fucking like work. And then the marriages fall apart. And then because you're expecting your wife to take care of the fucking kids because all you were supposed to do is work. Well, no, that was up to a certain point, man. That's not all you're supposed to do. You're supposed to you're supposed to set the goal that you accomplished, right? And at some point, your only goal is school, right? But eventually, your goals are supposed to branch out and continue to develop. Well, and not just stop at that. Well, I got school, I got the job. Now I'm gonna be a piece of shit that stagnates in every other aspect of my life.
I feel like that speaks to the idea of like, while yes, goals are important to have, it feels like systems that you have in place to achieve said goals. I mean, I feel like that's just as important.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Systems.
Yeah, systems. Yeah.
If you only do school, totally. That leads to a job, and that's the only thing. You only have one system.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're not developing six stems. Yeah. So that's where I'm going. And it doesn't mean do anything like anybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, totally. But it means you're not done ever. And if you can't stand that, something has gone wrong with your life's perspective. Be ready. When is it done? Never. When are you done being a fucking good man? Never. When are you done being like fill in the blank? Fucking never. When are you done if you like to play music? If you like to fucking be a bowler or a golfer? When are you done being good? Never. You know what I mean? Like, and so for people that think that there's like for people that lose weight, when are you done losing weight or getting in shape? Yeah. The answer to that should be never, right? You know, well, I achieve optimal shape. I will never work out again. No, like that becomes a thing that, you know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, and like, right, I feel like the people who are successful at losing weight, maintaining weight, it's not a matter of being at weight. It's a matter of like getting into like that journey and like that exercise aspect of it, and actually understanding how to enjoy exercise, because I do think it's a matter of understanding how to enjoy it.
It becomes integrated into your life. You know, it's like you don't just shower every day for a year. No, that becomes a thing that you do. You know what I mean? Like, but if everything is a source of acrimonious motivation, well, you're not gonna get a whole lot of things done, man.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true.
You know, and I gather that you're not gonna be real happy because fucking we go to school largely to have a job. We have a job to have money.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
So by virtue, if somebody came and gave you all the money in the world, you would do nothing.
Yeah.
That's what your ambition in life would be. Do nothing. Improve at nothing. What if you don't need money? You improve at zero.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that shit is fucking. It's fucking crazy, dude. But when it comes to when some of those people are just now getting up off their couch because of a buffoon on either side of the political aisle.
Back to this.
You cannot be that easily fucking amused. In fact, you weren't because you didn't move for 20 years and all of a sudden you're moving.
No.
And for this, stay at home, please. I celebrate your freedom at home.
It's already almost too late.
I celebrate your freedom at home. I celebrate everybody's freedom, Tim. That's my theme for the day. I celebrate your freedom.
I feel like it's a great way to end. This is America.
Celebrate freedom.
We love freedoms.
I love freedom.
It's not even 4th of July and look at us.
No.
Couple patriots.
I love your freedom to be a dumbass. How about that?
And with that, we will end this episode, episode 11 of Children of the Beast. Follow the show.
We didn't even talk about no fighting or nothing.
That's okay.
Holly Holm, though. My girl.
All right. Anyone else?
She's a grown woman. She's not a girl. Just a grown woman.
I'll turn 30 now.
She's a grown woman. She's my age. Almost.
Yeah.
That's old. And that's old, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's
do it.
With Mormon brother Carlos admitting that he is in fact Mormon and old. An elder, if you will.
I'm not a Mormon yet, but I'm doing my research. That's clearly, you see, I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions.
You went to Peru.
I'm asking
a little mission.
I wouldn't go to Peru in somebody else's body, dude.
You already did. You survived.
Peru. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't.
Oh, my word.
I thought South American country, Peru.
I'd rather go to Alabama than Peru. That's how bad Peru is.
Well, you're bilingual. They sent you somewhere where it's pretty Portuguese, isn't it, too?
No, they speak Spanish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. We're back in, boys. So, yeah, Peru, like I said.
Yeah, they speak Spanish. They speak Spanish. I think they speak Spanish.
Probably both.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
No, because it's Central America. Ecuador, Peru, and Quito are in Central America. Yeah.
Isn't Quito a city? Not a country?
Oh, yeah. Quito is the capital of Ecuador.
Yeah, you listed a bunch of countries.
No. There's 3. Oh, Guatemala. Guatemala, Ecuador, and Peru are right in Central America.
And with your Central American history, we'll leave you. Follow the show on YouTube, Children of the Beast.
Knowledge.
Children of the Beast podcast. You can follow the show also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, wherever you find your podcasts. Leave a review where you can.
And we're not popular enough for those pussies to do anything about anything we say yet. So, you know.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Andrew_the_Hut on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Carlos at Wolfchild1980 on both of those same platforms. You get into any other platforms? A little bit of OnlyFans, a little bit of MySpace.
No. Oh, I did hear a horrible thing about OnlyFans. You know Aaron Carter is?
Like Nick Carter's little brother?
He's doing the jerk on OnlyFans, dude, because he's so cracked out. That's what he's living off of.
You know, we're ending the show on a positive note, and you went dark. You went real dark.
No, it's not dark.
No, that's dark.
He's flossing his man.
Okay, goodbye. We're ending on that. Goodbye.